What's up everyone? So this is a highly anticipated video, mainly from me because this is something that I've always wanted to do. And I figured with this new 3,000 subscriber milestone, this is a great opportunity to do it. First and foremost, just want to say thank you for 3,000 subscribers. I started this sort of YouTube journey out of boredom in high school and then picked it up after college, once I graduated to kill time. So this collection is different from most collectors in that it embodies my Stuff Dylan Likes channel name. I'm picking up things and collecting stuff that I like. You'll see a whole variety from new and old releases from a bunch of different brands and a bunch of different styles and silhouettes. And I'm excited to show you guys it all laid out exactly like this. I do have a few things that I just picked up but aren't in yet, so I'll be sure to splice them in when they do decide to, show up. So this whole collection didn't happen overnight. This is years of buying and selling sneakers and phasing in and out of the whole shoe game. So that said, this is around 100 pairs and I've roughly appraised it in an Excel doc to be worth at least $9,000, give or take a few dollars. As I film this, I already anticipate it to be tough to organize the flow, so I'm going to try to make a cohesive whole that makes sense. But in turn, in post-production, I'll probably splice in things where they should be, etc, etc.
As I'm editing the video, I just wanted to chime in really quickly and let you guys know that this video isn't meant for me to brag and be arrogant about all the stuff that I have. The whole purpose of this channel is to show and inform you guys about the sneakers I've been picking up. Oddly enough, a lot of people find value in videos like these, and not to defend myself anymore, but I've really been about this sneaker life for a long time now. And truthfully, I only mentioned the $9,000 monetary value so that I can include it in the title and, grab more views. If you're offended in any way by this video, definitely click off now because this is an excessively long video. Thanks.
There's a lot of stuff to go through, so if you have a few minutes, sit back and enjoy. And if you could, drop a like on the video. It only takes a second and goes a long way in growing the channel. Thanks again for 3,000 and hope you guys continue to follow the journey. Enough rambling, let's get started. Oh, and special shout out to my girlfriend Steph. Steph, say hi.
Hi.
She helped lay this out if you couldn't tell by the time lapse that I have laid out. So I guess I'll start with the non-New Balance and Nike and Jordan stuff. This is a pair of optical white, or once optical white, Converse All-Star high tops, some Chuck Taylors. This video got a lot of views on my channel if you check it out. It was one of the first few videos to sort of put me on the map. And I say that jokingly because it didn't, but I still have it. It's from high school. I wore it throughout high school, throughout college too, cleaned them up a bit, but this is a meaningful sneaker to me. Next, I have not one, but two pairs of Reebok Instant Pump Theories. These are from the Icons pack, so this one pays tribute to the Reebok Pump Shack Attack, and this one the Court Victory. Here is a pair of a Reebok Question Mids. This one is the #1 draft pick, so it has the 1 instead of the Allen Iverson #3 on the back. These are sort of making resurgence, so this is a great pair to have in the collection. Pair of Reebok Asics that I got from their official eBay page for 20 bucks. I had another pair but sold that. Here's my first and only pair of Asics. It's the Gel Cayano 5s. Got these on their official eBay page as well for 20 bucks. Pretty cool sneaker. Next we have sort of a classic. It's the Converse collab with CDG or Comme des Garçons and their Plague line. Now moving on to the Adidas. This is probably the most worn sneaker in my collection. It's the Stan Smith. These are the premium leather ones. A lot of memories in these. I went to Chicago with my girlfriend. Steph, say hi.
Hi.
And a lot of in between, so probably due for a new pair, but also look good, pretty beat up. Similar casual vibe is the Adidas Power Phase. Steph, you have a pair of these, right?
Yes, I do.
We got a matching pair. So here's a pair of the Adidas ZX 4000 collabed with Alzheimer's. This is a criminally underrated sneaker, or just the overall ZX line is. Adidas has been sort of reviving it over the last 2 years now, and right now in 2020 they have this A through ZX collection, but this was before that. So this is ZX 4000. And on that same note, here's another ZX 4000 OG. This is one of the original colorways from like 1988 or 89. Got this for 11 bucks, so definitely a deal there. Following that same tune is an Adidas ZX 8000, so this is the most iconic colorway of the 8000. All over Europe, people were wearing these back then at raves because of the bright colors, but then also kept them comfortable on their feet while, dancing all night. One of the more rare sneakers in my collection is this Adidas ZX 5000 to collab with Bape and Undefeated. Following the same retro vibe are these Adidas FYW S97s. These were formerly known as the Adidas Salvation back in the 90s. And then moving into the new school, I have not one but two pairs of the Adidas Ultra Boost 2.0 in this Lady Liberty colorway. And I have two more recent Adidas. Here's the ZX 4000 4D. These had a retail price of $350, but paid nowhere near that. Nowadays, I think Adidas is making them more affordable, so if you want to get into a 40 sneaker, it's pretty easy. And then here's probably the sneaker of like 2018. It's obviously 2020 now, so these aren't as big as they once were, but they're the Zebra Yeezy 350s. I remember how much these were going for back in the day. Not so much anymore because they've restocked a few times. Here's a pair that I don't have the box for. It's an NMD R2. Got a lot of good wear out of this pair. Where did I go, Steph? Iceland, Denmark, Sweden. No, I definitely went to 4th. It's okay. So we've made some space and now we're transitioning over to the New Balances. So I figured we could start with these gray 993s. So this was the first pair that I've spent $100 on by myself. I remember buying these for myself like 2 months after I graduated college and had a full-time job. Still in the collection, one of my favorites. Another gray New Balance, this one being the 574 Classics. Great all-around wear. Another 574. This one is one of the more rarer ones. It's a Boston Marathon 2011 limited edition ones, limited to like 36 pairs. Here's a GR colorway that was released in like 2018 or 19, but this one is a sample. Another 574 that you guys haven't seen on the channel. It's a made in USA one. It was actually through their NB1 or customizable program. Didn't make them, accidentally bought them from somebody. Wait on the video for these. Chronologically, here's a made in England 576 from the Real Ale pack. Another 576, this one's a made in USA one in this burgundy and desert camo print from like 2014. More recent release, this is the New Balance 327. I've already made the video, but I haven't uploaded yet. These are really big right now in 2020, so I was glad I was able to get a pair. Moving to the 900 series, here's my lone pair of 990 V2s. This silhouette has been extremely hard to find nowadays, this one being part of their color spectrum pack in the North Sea colorway. Now we have a 990 V3, which I'm actually working on the video right now. For some reason, these next two clips got corrupted on my computer, but they're the 990 V4. This one is the Copper Rose colorway in this sort of red, white, and blue. And then this one is the Black with Rose in colorway, that's like a forest green. Lace swap some gray reflective laces on there and they look pretty sweet. This one's a recent pickup. It's my first and only 991. This silhouette is famously known for being made in England, so they're pretty hard to come by here in the States. Glad to have this pair and hoping to pick up a few more 991s. Speaking of 991s, here's a hybrid model dubbed as the 1991, which utilizes a 991 deconstructed upper and a 1500 outsole. And then speaking of 1500s, here is my first and only pair of 1500s so far in the South Beach colorway. These are also made in England, and also bought them with that 991 pair. And then just speaking of hybrids too, here's the 991.9. This utilizes a 991 upper with a 990 V3 sole. Moving up the 900 series is this all gray made in USA 996. You guys have also seen this one on the channel. It's a 997. Did a recent lace swap to white and they look pretty good. Another 997 here, videos on the channel. This one turned out to be a sample, which is pretty cool. And then wrapping up the New Balance section is the 998. So I have 3 of them now, all recent pickups. This one is the 998 pony hair made in USA. So if you could tell by the material on the toe box, these utilize a pony hair. Additionally are these made in USA 998 dubbed as the brown sugar or the curries. I got these quite some time ago, haven't made a video on them. Maybe closer to the full time I'll drop a video. And then this one is one of the more rare ones. This one is a made in USA 998, 1 of 1. So if you actually check out the box tag too, it says US 1 of 1 V1. So this was part of that surplus pack. I'll drop a picture of the crazy looking marketing material they had. This was actually one of the pairs. And this is a 1 of 1 in the size and colorway. So this is the only thing that's floating out in a 9.5 right now. And at the time of making the video now, we've officially reached 3,000. Moving on to more Nike sportswear stuff, here's this Green Curry Air Max 1. Got these at a Nike outlet super cheap a few years ago. Here's a really unique one. It's a Nike Air Max 1, but it's a Nike ID that I bought in a bulk deal. It's in this bread makeup that I haven't quite made a video on the channel, but hoping to soon. Definitely very unique, very cool, and it's pretty fitting given all the Jordans that I have left to show you guys. Another pair of Air Max 1s, these being in the outdoor green colorway. Got these super cheap from Jimmy Jazz and actually have a lot of miles on these. Took these on a trip to London and Ireland. Partially vacation, I was also there for work, so cool sneaker to have. Like those outdoor green Air Max 1s, here's another GR Air Max, this one being an Air Max 90. It's like a black and gray colorway. These are from like 2014, I believe. I actually just recently repainted the midsole on these and they didn't come out half bad. So next up are some neon Air Max 95s. These are probably the most popular and famous Air Max 95s. So this pair is from 2010, if you couldn't tell by that old Nike Sportswear box. These come out every so often. I think they came out in 2015 and are slated to release at the end of 2020. Here's the Air Max 97, dubbed as the Nintendo 64. And if you couldn't tell by the color blocking, these are inspired by the Nintendo 64 video game console. Another Air Max, this one being the Nike Air Max Tailwind 4. These came out in the late 90s and were recently retroed. It's one of the more popular videos on my channel for some reason, I think because Nike has been doing crazy sales on these. Not very well received by the public, but if you could catch them on sale like I did, got these for 40 bucks, definitely worth it. Another retro runner, this one being the Nike Shox R4. These came out in the early 2000s, and if you couldn't tell, their design philosophy changed and they try to move into the future. Even now in 2020, these things look pretty futuristic. Another Nike runner, this one being the triple white Nike Air Presto. These are in decent condition, even though I've worn them a ton. So here's a pair of the Nike Trainer SC 2010 lows. And so this one is a Manny Pacquiao PE. And I remember this pair coming out in high school, so had to go back and grab these. You guys haven't seen them on the channel yet. It's mainly because there are so many details on the sneaker that I actually don't know about that I don't want to put out the video quite yet because then I'd be pretty misinformed. Here's a pretty quirky sneaker. It's the Undercover collab Nike Daybreak. So these are pretty cool. They kind of look like the Sacai Waffles but aren't. People dub these as the poor man's Sacai Waffles, which I don't quite get down with, but really glad to have these. These are actually a women's colorway too. Some more Nike sportswear stuff. Here is the Air Force 1 Low in this beige camo print. These are from 2006. Here, on toe, I got the Birkenstocks. Here is a pair of the LeBron Air Force 1s from 2003. Made a video about these recently, so be sure to check that out. In that video, I also featured this pair, the Nike Air Force 1 all patent leather Rasheed Wallace PE from 2006. Haven't made a video on these, not sure if I will, but these are definitely a cool collector's item if you're into basketball. Speaking of Air Force 1s, here's the Air Force 1 mid that is supposed to be all white, but has a super yellowed midsole. This video has been the biggest video on my channel with over 500,000 views and counting so far, so definitely not getting rid of these even though these belong in the trash. More recent Air Force 1 is this Nike Air Force 1 Low, dubbed as the Rucker Park. Made a video on these. These have been pretty hot in 2020 for being a GR. Been selling out everywhere. This pair, oddly enough, is one of my grails, or a very nostalgic pair for me. I had a pair growing up. This is the Nike Shox VC5, released in, I want to say 2006 or 2007. This was his signature sneaker with the New Jersey Nets, and I'm a huge Nets fan, so had to go back and grab these. Here's a more recent pickup, although from 2006, so new to me. It is a Kobe 1 OG in the Minneapolis colorway. I remember these coming out back when I was a kid playing travel basketball, so definitely nice to find these, especially at a good deal too. Some more Nike basketball. Here's a pair of the Foamposite 1s. Nobody's really wearing foams nowadays, but I think like these cyclical sneaker trends, they'll probably come back at some point, so I'll be sure to hang on to them. Moving on to the Dunks now. I have quite a few. They've been the silhouette of choice recently, and I think it's in line with the recent hype. This is just a GR Nike Sportswear Dunk, so non-SB. This is from 2011. I remember buying this pair at a Nike outlet with my parents. This was the first Dunk I've ever gotten, and I've hung on to since high school, through college, and even now. Went back and picked this one up recently, but this is an SB Dunk that I remember so vividly from high school. It is the Wet Floor Sign Dunk SB High. Another SB Dunk High, this one a collab pair with the 510 Skate Shop and Benny Gold, who actually shared a post that I made on Instagram that I'll pop in right here. Another camo Dunk High, this one being the Parachute Beige GR that came out in late 2019. This is probably the cheapest Dunk that you could get, and I'm working on the video now, so hopefully it will drop soon. A recent pickup that you guys haven't seen on the channel quite yet. This is a pair of the Raw Meat Nike SB Dunk Highs. Definitely a very weird sneaker. These are the Game Royal Dunk SB Highs, GR from like 2014 or 2015. Haven't worn them aside from the video review, so these things are still icy. This one's actually still factory laced. Here's a recent pickup that you guys haven't seen on the channel yet. It is a Steel Reserve Nike SB Dunk High, modeled after the Steel Reserve beer, or I guess malt liquor beverage. Another pickup that you guys haven't seen yet, but this is the Momofuku Dunk. This is definitely the sneaker to have if you're a big foodie. Few dunk mids right now. This one is the Golden Hops GR from like 2011 or 2012. Recently picked these up for a good deal in very, very good condition. Another mid that you've seen on the channel already, the Realtree Camo mids. I remember these in high school, which is why I went back and picked them up. Another mid that is sort of on the channel but haven't made a dedicated review yet is the Beavis mids, modeled after Beavis from Beavis and Butthead. You guys haven't seen these on the channel yet, but these are the Guinness Dunk Highs, and if you're a beer drinker, you'll know that these replicate the Guinness beer, which is actually pretty cool because when we were out in Ireland, we went to check out the factory there and it was sick. So these next two I'll spend a little bit of time on because they are some grails. Maybe not so much this Quagmire one since the video is on the channel already, but this one is an all-time grail and will never leave the collection. Following that, you guys haven't seen this one on the channel yet, but is the Nike SB Dunk High, dubbed as the resin, or if you look at the colorway, it looks like a Gucci colorway that a lot of people call them. I remember these coming out in high school and was never able to grab a pair or find a pair, but now I'm in a position to sort of buy whatever I want, so knew I had to go back and get these. This is one of the sneakers I bought for my birthday this year, but haven't quite showed it off on the channel yet. It's the Nike SB Dunk High Oski, or the Sharks, and if you can tell by these Dunk Highs, these utilize a shark on the swoosh, which is pretty cool. This is a non-SB, but pretty clean in my opinion. It's just a sportswear dunk from 2017 in this light bone and black colorway. Sort of Fear of God vibes on this one. Aside from the things that I'm waiting for in the mail, these three dunks is a recent bulk buy that I grabbed. So this Dunk High is in the tropical teal colorway. This one in the Newport, or atomic teal is what the official colorway is, but people dub these as the Newports. And then this green pair as the St. Patrick's Day or St. Patty's Day Dunk Highs, all from 2013, so tape box era. Gonna splash in a non-Nike SB Dunk here, but here is an FC Classic. Got these at the Nike outlet a few years ago now for like sub $20. These things I've worn a lot, sort of like the Stan Smiths over the years, so definitely a cool sneaker to have in the collection still. Here's a Dunk Low, non-SB. These are in the University Red or St. John's colorway. Shout out to Steph. She got these for me, or she got lucky on the sneakers app and got them for me for my birthday recently, so very, very much appreciated on these. Some Dunk Lows here. This is the most recent, I guess, Dunk Low pickup that I've had. It's the Supreme collab that dropped in late 2019 in this navy blue and gold colorway. And then here's the pair that I got lucky on Nike Sneakers Day of Release in the Varsity Red and White colorway, still dead stock. Stuff away now, and we've reached the home stretch. All I have left now are the Jordans, which aren't as many as I thought initially. So starting chronologically are the ones, particularly the One Lows. These are the Nothing But Net One Lows that came out recently, and these the Pine Greens. These have oddly enough been selling out. I think a lot of people look to these as alternatives to SB Dunks for some reason because a few of them have some backstories to them and they've been pretty interesting as far as release goes, so happy to have these two pairs. Another odd GR is this Air Jordan 1 mid, dubbed as the Chicago Black Toe. A lot of people rag on the mids, I know I used to, but a colorway like this is an instant classic. There have been a few recent Chicago related Air Jordan 1 mids that people have been anticipating, and you know, I could see the appeal. Moving on to the One Highs that we accidentally brought upstairs without filming. These are the NYC to Paris ones, so underneath this light bone and white colorway is like a pink. These ones are pretty cool. These ones were sitting in 2019 and now are worth a decent amount of money. Same thing with these. These are the Phantom Air Jordan 1 Highs. These were shelf sitters in 2019 and now are worth a lot of money. These two were part of a pack from 2014-2015 era. This one being the Russell Westbrook PE and this one being the Blake Griffin. There are 4 from this pack total, the only ones that I'm missing being the Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony 1 Highs. And then my last few ones, both of which I got on the Nike Sneakers app. These ones being the Royal Toes. Didn't really want these, but you know, now that I have them in hand, I'm kind of glad that I got them. Same with these. These are the Fearless Air Jordan 1 Highs. At one point in time, these were bricks and weren't going much over retail price in the resale market. But now, about a year or so later, these things are worth a pretty decent amount of money. I haven't worn them outside yet, just around the house and threw on these white laces, but glad I hung on to these. Here is the only Air Jordan 3 in my collection, this one being the Mocha 3. This was the first Jordan that I bought for myself with my own money recently. I guess like 2 years ago now, so not that recently. So I got these on sale from Nike for like $130, and these were actually sitting on shelves for a really long time. It wasn't until now in 2020 that these things go for well over their retail price, so I'm glad that I hung on to them. Now looking at it, I realize I should be picking up more Jordan Retros, especially being a basketball fan, but that's 1 through 3. Here is a Jordan 8 if we fast forward in the timeline. Not an OG color at all, but this one being the OVO black colorway. This is obviously a collab with Drake's OVO brand. And following this 8, I have the black colorway of the OVO 10s as well. I'm hoping to get a pair of the 12s, and eventually the white colorways for all 3 models. Here is a pair of the Jordan 10 Orlandos that I think a lot of people slept on. This is such an underrated sneaker and went on sale. I was lucky to scoop these for around $130, around the same time as I picked up those Mocha 3s as well. Here's an actual classic OG sneaker for you. Not quite OG because these are the 2019 retro. This is the Bread 11. Or the Playoff 11. This is a sneaker that MJ wore during the first championship of their second three-peat, so definitely very cool. A lot of sneakerheads looking after these, but were actually pretty easy release to get. I was on vacation in Turks and Caicos and was able to grab these on the sneakers app pretty seamlessly. And then rounding out my smallish collection of Jordans is the Air Jordan 13 Retro, the CP3 PE. So I have one and a second pair, both of which are worn. I grabbed both at pretty good deals, so I couldn't resist, but the colorway itself is pretty clean. It pays tribute to Chris Paul's time with the New Orleans Hornets. I still haven't made a video on these, but if you check it out eventually, I'll reference a point where Chris Paul was going through his sneaker collection, and these were PEs made exclusively for him. Fast forward to like 2015, Jordan Brand decided to release it as a PE for the masses to grab, and ultimately bricked. Not a lot of people want these or are searching after these, but you know, as we reach the tail end of Chris Paul's career, I think these are going to go for good money at some point down the line. So now we're moved upstairs. I had to pull some stuff out of the closet. As you can tell, majority of these are non-sneakers or really aren't worthy of being, you know, put out like here or here or the here, which are, you know, new Recs that I just recently got. So starting off, this is sort of like a gag sneaker. This one is the Heelys. Made a video on these for April Fool's Day. I've had these for like a really long time now, so definitely a weird sneaker to have in the collection. Next are some Miscellaneous training shoes. So these are actually a very recent purchase. These are a pair of the New Balance VZ Paces. This model was released in like 2015, has since been discontinued by New Balance. Got them for a super good deal because I want to get back into running, which is something I used to do back in the high school days competitively, so hopefully that can happen. I don't even know what these are called. I think these are like the Free Run OG 2014s or something like that. My dad got these for me for like $25 back in the day, and I beat these to the ground. These were sort of my toss around shoes during college. Following that, I don't know why I have this pair of sneakers still, but it's a pair of Lunar Glide 2 Shields. I ran with these in like my junior year of high school. I still have the box and everything. I don't know why I hung on to these because these are toast. Probably belong in the trash, but still have them. Here are some Free Run 2s that I ran with in high school and now use for lawn work, as well as these old Vans Eras that I also use to, you know, cut the grass and do all the miscellaneous stuff around the house. The winters here in the Northeast get pretty intense sometimes, so I got some boots to go with the weather. So these are the Wheat Tims. These are the Timberland Pros, the 6-inch contractor boots. And then more Northeast winter wear, here is the LL Bean boot. This is definitely more worn than the Tims just because these go with a lot, shockingly enough. Duck boot, good if you want to get your menswear game on, but also dress down casually. Speaking of casual dress, I have a day job, as I mention all the time during the channel. Fortunately, when we were in the office, I was able to wear sneakers just because it was such a casual, relaxed 21st century sort of place. But, you know, occasionally it's nice to get dressed up, or there'd be certain meetings that I have to go to where I would have to dress up a bit. So these are the Cole Haan Zero Grands. One of the more popular videos on my channel. I think this is a great cross between a sneaker and sort of a dressy lace-up Oxford sort of shoe. Next are my 2 pairs of Clark Desert boots. So this one is the iconic Bushacre 2 in this brown leather. I've worn these a ton if you can tell by the heel drag, but honestly they look a lot better with age. This one, another desert boot. This one is a gray leather with a suede. Got a lot of wear out of these. Beeswax sole is pretty cool. Wouldn't recommend wearing them in the rain because literally no traction on those. Moving on, this is my latest pair of Sperry's, the Authentics. They're in the classic Sahara color. These two were my first pair of Sperry's ever. So these ones I actually wore to my high school graduation and wore throughout college and actually still have. Sole is getting pretty worn on these, wore these a lot, but they actually look really good beat up like this. Here are my actual super beat ones. Like, these definitely belong in the trash. I don't know why I still have them. I think it's really the nostalgia, because I would just toss these on literally the last maybe 8 to 10 years of my life. But you could tell these things are toast. Still love them though. Still actually wear them from time to time, shockingly enough. I have a few sneakers from when I was a kid, but I can't quite track all of them down. This one is the more recent one that I found and just have sitting around the closet. It's a pair of the T-Mac 5 Tracy McGrady's signature sneaker with Adidas back in the day. I want to say like 2006 or 2007. I have a few different pairs of kids basketball sneakers like the Shox VC5s that I mentioned. I have a few Jordan Mellow 5.5s lying around and a few others. It may not seem it with my entire collection, but I've really been about the sneaker stuff since I was a kid. And then really to close out, you guys saw these in the video. These are the Birkenstock Arizonas, I think. These are the rubber ones. They're not the $100 cork leather ones, but man, for stepping out, going to the grocery store, just wearing around the house, these things are super durable. Probably a better alternative to, you know, regular Adidas slides, and I'd even say Crocs.
I realize after filming all of this, I don't have a formal outro, so I did want to leave you guys with a few last words. There are a bunch of things I've sold over the past few months, so if you don't see a sneaker in this video, but I've made a video about it in the past, chances are I've moved it to a better home. As much as I love buying things, it isn't realistic to have all of this stuff, so when things gotta go, I'll move them. And definitely after making this video and editing it, I think it's time for some things to move. On that note, be sure to follow me on Instagram at StuffDylanLikes. I'm usually pretty good at staying up to date over there. And again, thank you all for the support up to this point. 3,000 subscribers to some may not be a lot, but to me it's a real big following. I do all of this for fun, so seeing the numbers grow just makes it that much better. That about does it for this lengthy video finally. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.